All right, back with another video already. Hey, I just wanted to talk about this rear Shinko 244 Golden Boy rear tire, the 2.75. I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's a taller tire than the factory tire setup that came on the bike as from the factory. It's taller. It's a little wider. But also too, as I think we saw, it's about 2 pounds heavier, and I can notice that that zapped the power a little bit. If this has, 4 horsepower or 5 horsepower, that's pretty substantial. It just kind of removed. It's kind of lacking some of that zip that it had with the little bit smaller tire. I think it's pretty definite that I can tell. Just imagine if you had big motocross tires on here, with a 21 front and 18 rear with an actual motocross tire that weighs, maybe 8 pounds. You would definitely need the bigger battery in the controller, and the more power that option offered. That would just really deplete the power of the factory X bike, X Sur Ron. So yes, that's the downside of adding this tire, but it is a little better, I think, on the road. It's going to wear a lot better. I'm always riding. This is in the city. It's going to be a multi-purpose bike, and as you saw in the intro of the video, I tool around. I go and eat on it, and just get snacks and run errands that are close by. So I'm riding around on the concrete quite a bit, maybe 60%. And then, we don't have any certain great trails around here, but we have little small spaces that I can do, some dirt riding and, some hills and some declines, but it's nothing spectacular. It's no long trails. I need to get a truck so that I can put the bike in the back, charge the battery, and then go ride all day at the trails. This thing will do it. It's a new battery, so I'm getting, 35 miles out of a battery charge, as long as you're just not pegged on a large road, full bore throttle for, 10 minutes. That zaps the power. But if you're on and off the throttle and you're, in the 20 mile per hour range, it's phenomenal. It seems like it'll go forever. Your butt will hurt in telling you to get off the bike before you get down to the 10%, 10 to 15%. But yeah, other than that, I'm really happy with the bike. The little modifications that I've made, the little bit taller bars, are perfectly good for me. I'm more comfortable standing on it now for certain situations, not long-term standing and riding, but if I need to stand, I can, and it's comfortable. The front Shimano brake, the C version of that, which is the resin, is a lot better than the brake pads that came on it, even though people say this is an upgrade in the brakes. The rear brake, I can't lock. I have the factory pads still on the rear brake, and I can mash that as hard as I want to, at 10 miles an hour, and it will not lock up the rear brake. So those rear pads are not that great. Probably just like the front pad, so they probably need the upgrading to the Shimano H03C or what the other model number of that one is. So that might be a benefit maybe in the future, but you don't use your rear brake as much as the front brake, so having it not lock up, because it's easy to lock up on a bike with good rear brakes. It's easy to lock the rear wheel up, and so a lot of the times you don't want to have the rear end just lock up, because you can slide out like I did the other day when I went into a berm or flat ground a little too hot, and I washed out the rear end and got some road rash, but it was on the dirt, but hard dirt, so it didn't mess anything up on the bike or scratch anything. But yeah, so basically the tire, I think it's a great tire. I'd like to try out the the Shinko, the other Shinko dual sport tire. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank right now. 214 or something like that. Try that out, maybe on the front, or put that on the front and the other Shinko on the rear. But good combination, I think. They're going to last a lot longer than the CST tires, even though the CST tires I feel are good tires for what they are. For you know, the slower Sur Ron, you know, if you speed it up, obviously you're going to need more grip. But other than that, I think everything is working out really well, and I'm really liking the bike. I ride it just about every day. I'm not going to ride it typically when it rains and when it's really muddy out. I'm just not going to do that. I'm not a big fan of just riding in the deep mud, especially with electric, and then really getting this super dirty. I mean, and all the nooks and crannies just coated with mud. I'm not going to do that. It's going to be a fair weather bike, and not ride it when it's terribly cold. But like today, when it's in the 50s, I think that, you know, that's perfectly fine, but definitely not ride in the 10s or the 20s if we get down like we did last year into those dip down into those temperatures, because it does affect the battery performance. And in the manual, it said something about it not being really good for the health of the battery. But yeah, other than that, thanks for tuning in. Another video. I'll post this one up in a few days, and you'll see it. But yeah, basically the review of the rear tire. I'm sticking with the front CST tire on the front of the bike. Works fine for now. And other than that, bye bye. Thanks for tuning in. Catch me on another video.